This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, how local nonprofits, churches, and people are reaching out to help the homeless in our area. Hi everyone, I'm Ken Karen. I thank you for your time and for watching us on SSPTV and in HD on Service Electric Cablevision, Channel 513. Here comes your headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Well, it can be difficult to accept, but there are homeless people right here in our area, and the recent cold temperatures make the matter even more alarming. Now a pilot program is being developed to help those who are going through a difficult time. Lisa Sugart has a story.
The community is coming together for a brand new initiative, a new pilot program to help the homeless here in the greater Hazleton area. And taking the lead on this brand new initiative is Catholic Social Services in Hazleton. Pleased to welcome Neil Alberto, who is the Executive Director of Catholic Social Services. This is such a needed thing in our community. There are sadly homeless people living right here.
There are, Lisa, and thank you for this opportunity to try to get the word out. This has been something that several organizations, even though Catholic Social Services is taking the lead, there's numerous organizations that are behind this, as you mentioned, from the United Way to churches to interested individuals, the city, the state, our state rep's office, coming together, recognizing the need, and trying to come up with some type of a solution.
Now, you've been meeting and you've come up with the idea of a pilot program. So tell us what this is all about.
Yeah, what we're looking at doing is through this pilot program, first and foremost, responding to that immediate need, and that immediate need of sheltering individuals. And this is going to actually be for males and females, single males and females. And it'll be an opportunity to provide a temporary solution, but just as important will be that opportunity to collect the necessary data. And in collecting that data, trying to identify who actually is out there. Who are these folks that do need the sheltering? And what that'll also help us to do would be after maybe this 3 month, it's 4 months, it's going to be a 4-month pilot program. After, say, the 3rd month, we'll be able to put those numbers together and then look at some long-term solutions based on those numbers. Is it going to be something that would be large? Is it small? Who are these individuals as well? And also at the same time, identifying resources that may be available in the community, but also resources that aren't available, and see what we need to do to respond effectively.
I know the perfect scenario would be to have a permanent shelter. I'm sure that's not in the cards right now. So how would you handle this right now? You said, we talked earlier, maybe rotating locations?
Yeah, what we're doing now, and you're right, I mean, ideally it would be great to have a permanent, well, one site, one location. I don't want to use the word permanent at this point. And if there's anybody out there that might have something, please, come forward. But what we're looking at is following a model that we have with the shelter program we run in the Wyoming Valley called Mother Teresa's Haven, where it's rotating churches. So a church provides their facility for 1 week, and then after that 1 week it moves to another location, and feeling that that would be best at the current time.
And you need people to help to do all of this, and you need a coordinator for all of this. So tell the people how they can help.
Yeah, right now we're looking at a coordinator that would help to oversee this activity, helping to collect the data, helping to do the scheduling and whatnot.
And that's a paid position.
Yes, that's going to be a paid position. We actually have funds from the diocese that stepped forward, the United Way, churches within the community, and the city as well. So we're looking at being able to have that as a paid position now, and also what we're calling overnight security staff, individuals who will be able to stay there, who they'd be the paid individuals who take on that responsibility. But we're also looking at volunteers, the volunteers who'd be willing to maybe consider staying there. We're looking at trying to have 2 individuals there on an overnight basis as well. So,
what's your startup date goal? You hoping to get this started anytime soon?
Yes, but could I give you a specific date? I think that specific date is going to depend on getting the staffing in place, which I'm hoping we could have done within the next couple weeks. So if anybody is interested, please call call the office and everything, and hopefully we're going to have another public meeting within the next 2 weeks or so. But call the office, and then also if any churches may be interested in helping in any way, even if they're not able to make a commitment to providing their location. There's several churches who have stepped forward and said, hey, we're willing to provide meals, and we may have volunteers as well.
All righty. And right now, there is just nothing here. People are going to Wilkes-Barre, so you see it every day. There is a need, and you're hoping to solve it.
Absolutely, and we do. All the agencies, the emergency room at the hospital. So yes, that's what we're looking to do. It's a long time in coming. The community working together, taking ownership. That's what's so good about this.
All righty. Hopefully you can help out. Please call Catholic Social Services to volunteer. Again, a coordinator needed and churches needed to help. Together, we can solve the problem of homelessness right here in the greater Hazleton area.
Thanks a lot, Lisa. In other news on this Tuesday, fire broke out this morning in Minersville. Firefighters found heavy smoke coming from the structure at 52 Westwood Street around 9 this morning. Units from Minersville and Pottsville responded. No word on the extent of the damage or the cause of that fire in Minersville. Luzerne County Solicitor David Pedri is now the county's acting manager. Luzerne County Council made the appointment yesterday by a vote of 6-4. Pedri has served as the county solicitor since May of 2013. He succeeds Robert Lawton, who resigned effectively December 31st. Pedri will now appoint someone as acting solicitor. A 5-person committee is looking for the next county manager. Pedri has not decided whether he will apply for the permanent post as manager. The search committee will meet this Friday at 9 a.m. Swearing-in ceremonies were held yesterday in the borough of West Hazleton. However, one newly elected member resigned right after taking the oath of office. Charles Karchner Jr. was sworn in by District Judge James Dixon yesterday, along with Louis Picelli, John Chura, and James Bucky Kalaga. Citing health reasons, Karchner then resigned his post on Borough Council. Council voted to accept his resignation with regret. They then voted to appoint a man who was a member of council in the past. Jerry Grink, who served more than 30 years ago on West Hazleton Council, was appointed to Karchner's seat. Grink is a longtime West Hazleton teacher and a member of the Greater Hazleton Joint Sewer Authority. And yesterday marked the first meeting of the new year for Schuylkill County Commissioners. The 3 returning commissioners met and reorganized. Commissioner Frank Stoudemire, who had previously served as the chairman, nominated Commissioner George Halkovich for the chairman's seat. Commissioner Gary Hess seconded the motion. It's been past practice for the top vote getter to be named as the chairman, and Halkovich was the top vote getter in November. Well, if you love soup, then you're going to love this next story. Christ Lutheran Church in Cunningham will present its 23rd annual Super Bowl soup sale on Saturday, January 30th. Choose from 14 varieties made by local restaurants. The donation is $6 per quart, and all proceeds will benefit local charities, including the American Red Cross and the Valley Food Pantry. To place your order, call one of the numbers up on your screen. Coming up on FYI, Dave Seaman and I grade the 2015 Penn State football season and talk about the legacy of quarterback Christian Hackenberg. And after this break, PennDOT's James May chats with our Lisa Sugart about how they are using technology to help motorists in the Commonwealth.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Each Tuesday, FYI brings you the latest news from Brandon's Forever Home, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping children in foster care find their forever home. Well, this Saturday, you're invited to join the Book Nook at Brandon's Forever Home. A special guest reader will read Mary Poppins to children ages 7 and up. And because Brandon's Forever Home understands the importance of reading, all Brandon's Forever Home children will receive their own copy of the book. This special reading program is open to the public. It will take place this Saturday at 10 a.m. at Brandon's Forever Home, 187 North Church Street in Hazleton. To RSVP, please call 570-926-5117.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
I needed a cup of coffee after checking out this peaceful weather shot from our Tim Novotny. I sat there and just watched the water and listened to it and zoned out for a bit today. And even though I saw the ice, it made me forget all about how cold it's been. But let me remind all of us right now, here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight will be mostly clear. Our low will only be 9 degrees, but we will have a calm wind. On our 4-day outlook, Wednesday, the sun comes out while the high in the mid-30s. A little bit warmer Wednesday night, mostly clear, low of 21. Thursday, mostly sunny. We're up near 40 degrees. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. Our low will be 25. On Friday, there is a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy, a high of 40 degrees. And then on Friday night, 60% chance of rain. It will be cloudy. Our low will be 33 degrees. And then on Saturday, a chance of rain. Our high will be 41. Saturday night, 40% chance of rain, mostly cloudy. Our low, 35 degrees.
Pleased to welcome back James May, the Regional Press Director for PennDOT, talking about new technology that PennDOT is utilizing.
Well, one of the things that we're trying to do more is to utilize technology to make what we do at PennDOT more efficient, to keep people more safe on the roads, and to do things that would, like at the Department of Motor Vehicles, to make your wait time even shorter. One of the things that we've done just in the past few months is we've put some queuing technology, some software technology at the Department of Motor Vehicles, at the DMV when you go to get your license. We did this in a few select DMVs, and what they were looking at in Harrisburg is where are the areas that have the really long wait times. That's obviously one of the complaints that we hear at Department of Transportation is the wait times at the DMV. So by looking at this type of thing across the state, what they were then able to do is identify certain locations where there was an extremely long wait and other locations where there was no wait time at all. And then they can begin to adjust things. So in some DMVs are going to add some times. They were able to add some cameras to move a camera from one DMV to the other. So we just did a pilot on this beginning in the summer, in June of this last year. But throughout the next year, we're going to be implementing this across the state at nearly all of the DMVs and looking at those wait times. And then from a state level, making adjustments so that we can improve the wait times at each of the DMVs.
I would think there's going to be great reaction, positive reaction from that, because it is difficult. There's a lot of people out there that either getting their license or they have to do something with the DMV.
And it's one of those things that we sort of hear this feedback quite a bit. The wait time here is too long, and somebody might know, well, if you go to this DMV at this particular time, your wait time is shorter. But by utilizing technology and the software, that we can then get a real-time look at this and say, okay, here's a look at all the DMVs across the state. Here's the ones where there's not a real long wait time, maybe even where there's people working and there's nobody coming in. So we're able then to move equipment, to move personnel, to add times, to really try to improve the service there at the DMV. So that's one of the ways that we're using technology. One of the others is other ways is a brand new app that we just came out with. It's available on Android or your iPhone. It's the Safer Ride app. You can do a search for that. And essentially this does three things. It's to help improve so that there's not the drunk driving out on the roads. So people could use this app, and if you're ever out, you can pull this app up on your phone, and it will do three things for you. One, it will tell you your location. If they're out drinking, they don't know where they are. It'll tell you your location. You can have pre-programmed in there phone numbers for people that you can call, and it will also identify the taxi services in the area that you could just with a click of a button, you could call a taxi. So it's a way to keep the road safe, to keep people from drinking and driving. So if the excuse is, well, I didn't know the number of the taxi, I didn't know how to get in touch with anybody, download this app now and you can utilize it later. So what we're using with the software at the DMV is this new technology now with the Safer Ride app. We also have our 511 app as well, and that's a way that you can see real-time information on what's happening on the road. So we're really trying to use technology to make the road safer and to make PennDOT more efficient.
All right, well, sounds great. Glad to have you in our studios again to keep us up to date on what is happening so that you can have a better ride out on the Pennsylvania highways.
Once again, thank you very much, Lisa. Hey, the green screen on FYI, your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers. Hope they're lucky for someone out there. Pick 2, 5, 6, pick 3, 3, 6, 6, pick 4, 1, 6, 1, 7, pick 5, 5, 3, 5, 8, 7. When we come back on FYI, it's time for sports. Dave Seaman is here a day early. Right now, though, here's some law talk.
We received a viewer question, and the viewer asks, who handles the estate if there is no will?
Very legitimate question. It happens quite frequently. A lot of people that we see, they be middle-aged or even kind of like myself, heading into the senior category, and they don't have a will. And of course, we can't predict when we're going to die, so it's not unlikely for someone to die without a will. Well, what happens if you have property, and that property's in your name, and you haven't set forth in a will who you want to get that property? What happens to that property? How is it, in the eyes of the law, administered? Well, it's administered under the Pennsylvania Fiduciary and Estate Code. It's called intestate. Intestate means that you don't have a will. And the code also provides that someone, a family member, spouse, brother, sister, cousin, someone has to be appointed by the court to transition that property to where it belongs once you pass away. And that can only be done by what we call a citation. And that citation has to be brought to the Register of Wills. The person seeking to administer the estate has to ask the Register of Wills to appoint them as the administrator of the estate. And they have to give notice of that meeting with the Register of Wills to other relatives, creditors, who may have a right under the fiduciary code to be administer the estate. More often than not, it's a relative. More often than not, nobody objects. But that is a step that is necessary when there is no will designating an executor. If there's an executor named in a will, it's much easier. You take the will up, take the named executor, you get sworn in, and you start administering the estate from there. Without a will, you have to go through the citation process to have someone appointed. But effectively, once that's done, it's no different than having an executor in a will.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
It's crazy. It's 2016. Let's have Dave appear on a Tuesday. Dave Seaman is here. Don't worry, he will be here on Wednesday as well. We'll have a regular Dave Day. But Dave, we wanted to put a bow on the Penn State football season, and maybe not a present, the Tax Slayer Bowl, to Penn State fans, but they made a game of it, made it very interesting, had a shot with a Hail Mary at the end, but they do lose to Georgia to wrap up the 2015 season in the Tax Slayer Bowl. Dave, what grade would you give it? I think after I looked at the season, I saw it as maybe a C for Penn State this year. It was kind of what I expected. The defense was good. The offense underwhelming at times. They won the games they really should have, lost to some really good teams, and ultimately the style points just weren't there. And for me, that was a big thing. You know, when they look bad on offense, it looked really bad. What would you grade the season?
I agree about a C, C minus. When you're 7-2, as they were going into the November stretch with Northwestern, Michigan State, and then a bowl game, you have to get a signature win. And that signature win has eluded the Nittany Lions in James Franklin's first 2 years at the helm. So I think going forward that the Lions, once you get that first one, maybe the other ones will follow. People thought after they beat Boston College last year in the bowl game that would be a stepping stone. Yeah, the team started well, but again, the start-stop of the offense again plagued the Nittany Lions this year, and it's the inconsistency is a mar of the program. Now it's time to take a step up, or I think the university has to look long and hard at where it's going. Coach Franklin did make a big move by bringing in Joe Moorhead, a new offense coordinator, firing the old one, John Donovan. So there will be steps forward, hopefully, and we'll see what happens.
Christian Hackenberg, Penn State quarterback, holds pretty much all the records right now, declares for the NFL draft. Dave, how will he be remembered? I think in the future, depending upon how Penn State does and how he does in the NFL, things might change. But as of right now, how do you think he'll be remembered in Penn State football history? To me, he always said the right things. He was tough. I mean, before this weekend, I can't remember him being injured. If there was a game that he actually missed, I don't think so, you know, even for all the hits that he did take. But he didn't have that fiery attitude or leadership of a Matt McGloin or of a Michael Robinson, and I think that's what was missing maybe for some Penn State fans. They wanted to see that, but ultimately, do you think he'll be remembered?
Well, I think he'll be remembered, in my opinion anyway, he should be remembered as one of the greatest leaders in Penn State history, because he came to Penn State when he could have gone anywhere in the country. I thought Donnie Collins from our sister paper in Scranton did a fabulous column on Hackenberg in Sunday's edition following the game and his announcement that he was leaving Penn State and moving on to the NFL. Not Donnie, Christian Hackenberg. But it's just that when he came to Penn State, the world could have come crashing down if he decided to go elsewhere. But he came to Penn State. He allowed other commits to come to Penn State, some top flight receivers, some linemen, even though we haven't really seen those yet. I don't think we saw Christian Hackenberg's true measure of a player on the field. But as a leader, I think a quiet leader and keeping people together and keeping the program together, he deserves a lot of credit.
And Dave, I think looking back, even that first season he was there with Bill O'Brien, I know you might look at the last two and be maybe a little underwhelmed, but wow, I think right there, maybe the legacy, because like you said, he didn't have to come and was a huge part of that year for Penn State, who got some big wins over Michigan and then ending the season against Wisconsin. Dave, we appreciate a look back at Penn State season. Now more teamwork on the FYI standard speaker scoreboard. Mackenzie Urey did get to 1,000 points in her career, but the Lady Cougars, they lost their Wyoming Valley Conference opener at Dallas. MMI, they took a loss to Wyoming Seminary. Steve Stallone had the coverage of the Shenandoah Valley Weatherly game in the standard speaker. And how about this? The Lady Devils are 8-0 on the road and 0-4 at home this season. Also in the Schuylkill League, North Schuylkill beat Jim Thorpe behind Avery Jordan's 29 points. The Lady Bears of Monoy area, they were victorious on Monday, and Tamaqua lost to Pine Grove. Well, that's sports. It was fun. Now let's get social. Here's our social report. Happy Wing Night. It's Wing Night at Bottlenecks. Get $2 off your order of wings or all-you-can-eat wings and boneless wings for only $14.95. Bottlenecks wings are voted best wings in the area year after year.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. The Family Service Association of Northeastern Pennsylvania will be holding their 2016 Spring Gala and Auction Kickoff on Saturday, January 30th from 4:30 to 7:30 at Barton Irby's in Wilkes-Barre. The event will feature celebrity bartenders and free food for a voluntary $10 donation. All tips donated that evening will be given to the FSA at NEPA. For more information, just call 570-823-5144, extension 309. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Teresa A. Evancho of Freeland. Memorial is Friday at 9:30 a.m. in the Our Lady of Immaculate Conception Parish at St. Anne's Church. Friends may call at the church from 9 to 9:30. The McNulty Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Karen J. Miller of Beaver Meadows. Funeral is Thursday at 11 a.m. at the Zeiselman Gula Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. George Subak of Drums. Mass is Friday at 10 a.m. at the St. John Bosco Church. The Stauffer Bresnik Funeral Home is assisting the family. Edward J. Skicky of Drums. Funeral is Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the Most Precious Blood Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Ralph Hartwigson of Drums. All services will be private and will take place at the convenience of the family. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. And Vincent M. Casardo of Tresco. Memorial is Thursday at 10 a.m. in the Holy Rosary Roman Catholic Church. Friends may call Thursday from 9 to 10 at the church. The Hazel Chapel of the Cropton Hughes Funeral Home is assisting the family. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Michael Hansen of Hazel Township. Michael, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
A lot of exciting things coming your way on FYI in 2016, but I can't tell you about them right now, so stay tuned and also check out our Facebook page for updates. We'll see you on Wednesday. Take it easy, everyone.